Hey, today our topic is as follows. We are going to be talking about some MCU news and news so far as it pertains to Mr. Bad Bunny himself, the Bad Bunny.
Oh, yes.
Catherine, take it away.
All right. Well, I'm just going to start with when I heard this news, I was intrigued because I like Bad Bunny as an artist. I'm not his number one fan, but I'm probably in the top 5 million.
Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah.
Well, because the more I thought about it,
5 million and one, so you just squeaked in, yeah.
Just because the more I thought about it, and so okay, here's what I have planned because Bubba did like no research at all besides.
Yeah, I don't have to. I'm busy. Yeah.
Besides anything, so this is a wonderful opportunity to pitch this idea and a bunch of the background facts to this other human being.
Yeah, facts
and
on facts.
We'll see how it goes. So first things first. Our main thing is Bad Bunny will be El Muerto in an upcoming standalone.
El Muerto.
There you go.
I'm mad that you said it correctly.
I will never say it again.
Well, Bad Bunny is going to be him in an upcoming standalone addition to the Spider-Man universe. And this movie will come out January 12, 2024.
We got a little time to prepare for it. I'm going to go wait outside. Yeah,
so
outside for it.
So there's a little bit of time between now and then.
Yeah.
But we're just talking about it now. So first things first, who is El Muerto and how does he relate to Spider-Man?
I'll be honest with you. I do enjoy Spider-Man. I've read the comics. I've read quite a bit of Spider-Man comics. This is a character I never heard of.
Ever.
Why is that? Why is that, Matt?
Well, after doing a little bit of research, they're only in 2 comics. 2.
And one of them was The Last Ronin.
What? That's why I didn't know.
That's why you didn't
Raphael, know.
Yeah. I couldn't believe it. Even I thought I haven't bought a Spider-Man comic in a few years, and I was like, oh, maybe I just maybe it's a newer character. I just didn't know. And then I started doing a little bit of research, and I was like, oh, what? 2 comics.
Like two runs or just two physical
from
comics?
What I tried to do more research and make sure I was not wrong here, but just 2 comics.
2 comics.
Single
one of them
issues.
Is Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man comic number 6 in 2006.
So surely he'll have a run.
You would have to think so,
right?
You would have to think
before or after. That would make some nice promo monies, would it not?
I think it's gonna have to be before. You have to drum up excitement.
Well,
I'm shocked.
But then it'll be a spoiler for the whole movie. Then,
if Sony has learned anything from Morbius,
have they?
Well, hold on. Let's Kate continue. I'm sorry.
Sorry. What did I say? Oh, who is he and how's he? Yeah. So basically, these are 2 connected but separate universes, as many of you may already know. The MCU and then Sony's Spider-Man universe are those 2 universes. And this movie is Sony's universe that's focusing on the villains / anti-heroes who are linked to Spider-Man. So that's
okay. You all didn't see Morbius, right?
No.
Okay. Morpheus, yeah.
Morpheus. And
you did,
so obviously. Did you?
I did.
That's right, you did.
Saw it opening day. And I was like, can't be that bad, right?
He dressed up like Vengeance to go see that.
I drank a lot of blood that day. No, I just I was pretty sure oh, it can't be that bad. Because typically you have these movies like comic book movies where you're going to have the comic book people who are purists and they want their character the way they wanted. Now, me, I know a little bit about Morbius.
A little bit.
Read some comics. I saw him in the cartoon series in the 90s. Had ideas. I was like, it can't be that bad. But then I watched it and I was like, oh no, it was that bad. It was very bad. It was very bad.
Which one do you think was worse? Jared Leto as Morbius or Jared Leto as the Joker?
Here's the thing. I actually didn't think he did a bad job playing Morbius. I thought the plot was just all over the place. It kind of felt like a half a movie, but we're not here to talk about Morbius.
All in all, talk about it.
I thought he did a pretty good job as Morbius. And if he was to be Morbius in future movies, I would be okay with that.
Okay.
It's just that whatever they did with this movie, it was a half-baked movie. So,
well, I'll pass that along.
thanks, Kate.
So
Yeah,
I'm just gonna
yeah.
run over just a couple basic points about this character. I didn't want to get too much into it because I don't want to go through the plot of the movie.
Maybe. I mean, there's only 2 comic books. We can read them on our own before then.
There's only 2. So
Could probably read them in the time we have left in the segment.
basically, yeah, probably. This is a minor Spider-Man character. His real name is Juan Carlos Estrada Sanchez. Appearing in Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man comic number 6, and then one more, whatever one that is, in 2006. And he is El Muerto, who is
There weren't even
this
consecutive comics.
dude. I don't know. I only wrote down number 6, so I don't. That's why I said
Maybe.
another number. So it could be any number of your choosing.
How are we getting this before a Sinister Six movie? And how are we getting this before?
I don't
Rhino
know,
movie?
but
That's what
listen
I'm
to the rest of what he is.
I have things to
Sorry.
say too, but go
No,
ahead. Let's finish this.
there's good
I didn't
stuff.
do any research. All right, I gotta
Fine,
ask me
but look,
questions.
I want you to hear this second part, and I want to see your face when you hear the second part. Not what I'm saying right now. The stuff about Bad Bunny.
Okay.
Anyways, El Muerto comes from a line of wrestlers known as luchadors. Sounds like Nacho Libre. Mind you, Nacho Libre. The power of this super strength that he has, because that's his superpower, is super strength. It's passed down through his family through this magical
Through the
luchador mask. So as
Yes,
part of
you
the
do.
ritual of passing down this mask to each person, every wrestler has to prove themselves in a match against their big oppressor, El Dorado, in order to remain alive and keep their powers.
Wait,
but
there's
Juan Carlos
all of them
never
are El
wanted.
Dorado? I'm sorry.
Yes, against
Okay.
their oppressor, El Dorado. They all have
Just
to prove
one
themselves
El
against this
Dorado.
guy.
Gotcha.
But Juan Carlos does not want to be El Muerto.
Who does he want to be?
I don't know. It doesn't say.
Okay.
He just
Yeah,
doesn't
don't
want to.
spoil
He
it.
just doesn't want to do that. So then you might be wondering, how does this even relate to Spider-Man in any way, shape, or form? Well,
was.
this guy El Muerto rescues J. Jonah Jameson and then joins forces with him to take down Spider-Man. That's just the way. That's just the way that it's going. Okay.
Okay, I'm following so far. I'm following
This will
so
mark
far.
the first film in the Marvel Universe featuring a Spanish-speaking hero. Will he
As a-
speak
as a
Spanish in the
lead,
movie?
right?
I don't know. As a lead.
Well, yeah, as a lead, yeah.
As a lead.
Okay, and but there are other Spanish-speaking heroes. Like,
There.
I know they're looking for an anti-hero. I get it, and I know you want to talk about Bad Bunny 2K, but like, I guess why? I just feel like they could have done something else, and I've been racking my brain all day on the why they might want to do this, and it might be because of those comic book purists who have this knowledge of a character like Morbius. Like, no, Morbius would never do that. Like, or hey, Batman would never be like that. And why is he doing that? They have very little to compare
Source
to.
material.
Source
There's
material.
no.
So like,
there's
whatever they
nothing
want to do with it, they can do with it.
Yes, that's what I think is the area of most flexibility with this particular one. I think it would knock out a couple things that they haven't done yet that maybe in this day and age they feel like they should do.
Sure.
If that makes any sense. It's a little vague, but
Spider-Man 2099 is also like, he's Mexican. Like,
Is he?
yeah, I don't, and that may have like made everything weird with having more than multiple Spider-Mans.
maybe they don't
more
want
and more
another
Spider-Man.
Spider-Mans.
Maybe.
They already have
See,
Miles
and
Morales.
I'm just thinking about Miles. You know, like
And there's Miles, right?
it's-
Miles is Puerto Rican,
Miles.
Like-
right? Has Puerto Rican descent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Maybe
mean,
I
Bad
don't know.
Bunny. Bad Bunny should have been Miles because Bad Bunny.
I would have loved that too.
He's from, but okay, we're
Anyways.
gonna dig into this.
As
We're gonna dig
Miles.
into this. Secondly, who is Bad Bunny? For those of you who don't know, which is probably most of you.
I didn't know.
And okay, anyways,
hit it.
Bad Bunny
hit it, Kate.
is a reggaeton and Latin trap artist who I like. Oh,
Excuse me.
Bad Bunny has become one of the most biggest record-breaking artists in the world. He was the most streamed artist out of everybody in the entire
That's
world
unbelievable.
on Spotify for both 2020 and 2021, and the highest grossing tour for any Latino artist. He is 28, so he is younger than me.
And
Don't know
me.
why I felt like the need to point that out.
Oh,
and
me too,
He's from Puerto Rico,
Oh.
and here's some fun facts that Bubba already knows, but I'm going to restate.
Okay.
Bad Bunny is a longtime professional wrestling fan turned actual wrestler. He did some stunts at the Royal Rumble WWE event 2021.
And he freaking showed out.
So you liked that then?
What does that mean?
Was like he did so well. Like
Okay.
You went into it and kind of the feeling that we're all like Bad Bunny is El Muerto, like, but why?
Okay, that actually
amplify that for wrestling, right? Like, who is this guy, right? Everybody thinks that they can walk into a wrestling ring and do stuff.
Yeah, grab some people.
We've had like UFC fighters that have tried that fight for a living and can't get in and do things in the wrestling ring. And so you got Bad Bunny, but this dude. More recently, we had Pat McAfee, right? And so he like works with the WWE as a commentator. He got in, he had a WrestleMania match, and it was great. Like, it was really good. That was made possible because of what Bad Bunny did, right? Just a couple of months before that. And so like, it was really good to see him, I guess it was a year before that, to see him come in and do that. And everybody was talking about his match. Everybody was talking about his match and how well he did. So they brought him back, and he just basically showed that he still had it. Like, that was really what he was doing. And so, yeah, anyway, to your point, Kate, blown away. And so I'm
was
hopeful.
blown away.
Okay.
I'm hopeful.
Bubba was blown away. Bad Bunny, he started appearing on the WWE weekly show Monday Night Raw. He actually started to get professional wrestling training at the WWE facility.
I mean, at this point, who needs it? Like, he's fine.
Yeah.
He won the WWE 24/7 Championship 2021, and then he won his WrestleMania 37 match with his partner Damian Priest.
Okay.
Yeah. So here's the thing. He was on the show, right? He was on Raw leading up to it, building up and doing all that stuff. I would say that like his promo stuff was probably the weakest of it. His wrestling, his in-ring stuff was pretty good. But his on the mic skills were not. And so you move that forward into giving him the lead in a movie when he's never done it before.
Now I see where you're going with this, Bubba. Okay.
It's like, and he's probably not going to do a lot of his own stunts. And so it really, what we're going to have is Bad Bunny acting. And so the glory of it is that we have about, from our knowledge, time of our knowledge, we've got what, 2 years before it goes live, but they probably have a year and a half, maybe max, before they're finished filming. And so they're probably going to start filming, if they haven't already, like by the end of this, by the end of the year, maybe summer of next year. And so,
or summer of this year.
I mean, like, who knows?
Need all the time you can get.
All of those timelines that we have for Marvel I say Marvel, for Sony, are arbitrary. We just got announced that all of the Into the Spider-Verse stuff is pushed back, and so
they changed the name of Spider-Verse 2, right?
Yep.
Or maybe, okay.
2 and 3, right?
I think so.
Yeah, and so I don't know. Like, I look at Bad Bunny and I think to myself, okay. Why?
Exactly. Why? So here's a couple of his most recent acting experiences, in case anyone wants to go look. I haven't seen these, so I don't know.
Please.
He had a role on Netflix's Narcos Mexico on season 3.
Okay.
And then he's in a movie called Bullet Train something. I think I wrote the name down wrong on this dog.
So if he was in Narcos, then he was in Narcos. He was in it with Mando.
But this is Narcos Mexico. Is that a different one?
Different?
I think it's a different one.
No say.
But I'm not sure. I'm not up to date on Narcos things. Well, you look that up. He's also going to be in a movie coming out this summer with Brad Pitt and Sandra Bullock. I don't know exactly what the role is for that or how major of one it is.
That's also got Channing Tatum in it. Channing Tatum, doesn't it?
I don't know.
Do you have the title of the movie?
Those are two different shows.
Bullet Train.
Oh, that's the name of the movie he's in.
Yeah.
Okay, so Bullet Train. Sandra Bullock's in that one?
Oh, Sandra Bullock Train.
Brad Pitt, Bad Bunny, Sandra Bullock, Joey King.
Okay. So Brad Pitt and Sandra Bullock are in 2 movies.
Lady Gaga's in it.
Coming up.
Exciting.
So
It looks
he's
good.
had some.
So he's had some, but you know,
I'll
when you
give it
look
to him. I'll give it to him.
at and I'm not trying to say Bad Bunny's not going to do well in this movie because I don't know. Maybe he will, but I can say that doing the acting thing and doing the music, the artist thing, even though you're on a stage and people are looking at you and you're performing something, it is so different. You can't even compare the two.
Yeah, I've seen Kate's acting skills.
I am a terrible actor. I had to do some for the Disney thing, and they were like, "Here, do this." And I said, "No, I don't want to." And they said, "No, you have
Actually,
to."
can you wear the Mickey Mouse costume and just wave?
Yeah.
Well, it's just not. I don't know. Just because you're good
Honestly,
at one
like,
thing in that area doesn't mean that it applies to all the other areas.
I'm honestly fine because I don't know much about him anyways. Like if they chose him as the actor, I think my biggest hang up is the character they chose to bring about, like two comics.
There are
like-
so many people, so many characters in even Spider-Man's arm of the MCU. Let's say is this a
8
Sony
arms.
movie or a Marvel movie? I need a little clarification here.
Sony.
Okay. So Sony's grasping at straws at this point, right? They want to hold on to the license and make the most out of the license that they possibly can while they have it. And while they have access to the Spider-Man license, it is, I read up on this a while ago. They have access to anything that is created under the Spider-Man heading. Anything at all. They can take it and make a movie out of it. I don't know. Even if we're like, hey, we want to get Bad Bunny into a movie. Oh, yeah, El Muerto. I wouldn't have gone there. And because, like, to me, again, I'm like, hey, there's no comic run for that character that we know of, right? He, as a character, has a pretty weak story. There's not a lot to build on. We've already, in every single movie that has had a Spider-Man, we've given you Rhino, right? Like, I'm serious. Where's the Rhino movie? Like, make me care about this character you keep throwing in front of Spider-Man in video games, in TV shows, in movies. None of that. So to take this, what I would call D-level character.
D? Oh, man.
Maybe I'm giving it a little bit of credit, right?
Yeah.
This low-level character who teams up with Jonah Jameson, I'm just going to say pass on that. I mean, like, honestly, J. Jonah Jameson is probably my least favorite character in probably the whole Spider-Man universe.
Oh, really?
And I would have said that anytime, honestly, because I feel like the beef that he has with he's the menace, right? The beef that I have with him is that, like, a lot of his stuff is completely unfounded, and it's the same thing that I hate about the fake news stuff that goes on in the real world, is that it's compounded and unfounded. And so like there's nothing there. So for him to have a character that identifies with what he's saying, I care less about that character, that villain, that anti-hero, whatever you want to use there. I care less about that. I hope they turn it into a redemptive story where he turns on Jonah at the end of it, and aligns himself with
No, you
with
can't do
Spider-Man.
that.
But with a name like El Muerto, like, I'm not really hopeful for that.
Well, you'll see. I could tell you
Or
some of
maybe I
what I
won't.
saw.
I still haven't seen Morbius, so
I could tell you some of what I saw in the story on the online that was written about that if you want.
I just like, I get it,
Do you
Bubby.
want me
They
to say
own all of them. They own all the characters in the Spider-Man universe. But I don't get it. And maybe if you would have talked to me years ago before Iron Man came out, I would have said I don't get it. But also Iron Man had 30 some years of comics at that point, 40 years.
Well, hey, look at the bright side, Matt. There's almost no backstory to screw up here. So
Can't mess this one up. You
can't mess this one
up.
I don't know. I worry about it. There are so many other things that they could have done, and they're doing a lot of stuff. We saw, maybe we'll post it on Twitter, Matt, that picture that you sent of all the things that we have Spider-Verse wise that are coming out, right?
Oh, yeah.
I think that it's an interesting direction to go. Okay. I don't necessarily I'm not a big fan of let's just make Spider-Man movies while the hay shines.
Yep.
Okay. And I know that's not how the saying goes, but I feel like that's kind of what's going on here, right? is that like the pieces are there, but they're just in the wrong order with all of this stuff. I am very sad that Sony still has the Spider-Man stuff and that Marvel hasn't gotten it. Because the moment, you know that the moment Spider-Man goes back on the market, Marvel's taking it.
Yep.
And they're never letting it go. Never letting it go. And so Sony is making all these Venom movies and, you know, offshoot stuff. They need to just go into the animated thing and run with Spider-Man, Spider-Verse stuff, and build off of that. But here's another thing that I'm worried about is anybody who signs on with a Sony movie, anybody who signs on with a Sony Marvel property movie, okay? Because you've got great actors, people that have proven themselves over and over and over again. I think about my boy Matt Smith, Doctor Who, right? Who was in Morbius and now is tied to that movie forever, right?
I was actually surprised he was in that.
Well,
he played the king. He played the King of England, so
Sony is trying to hold on. They're trying to like have people overlook poorly written scripts or weak stories or, you know, whatever, what have you, okay, with paying really good actors to come in and play these things, casting them. And so, I don't know, man. I'm hopeful for the Kraven movie. I think that could be really cool. But as far as like this Bad Bunny thing goes, I think Bad Bunny is going to be fine. Like, I ain't worried about that, right? He'll probably be a decent actor.
I'd like to see the trailer of him doing this just as some proof.
I need way more on this before I can make an informed actual decision. All of this stuff that I've said here, 100% off the cuff. Like I've done no research or anything. These are my feelings. I know that Bad Bunny can surprise us, but in the areas that we need to be surprised with Bad Bunny, he has not surprised me thus far. So,
Bad Bunny, baby.
Well,
yeah.
Told you guys we weren't going to address the chat, but like in the spirit of things, Maxwell writes here in the chat, what if they do, if they want to do a movie, why haven't they done a Silk movie that is actually on the list of movies to be made? And so,
yeah, it's
who knows, man.
Who knows?
Honestly, there's no Spider-Gwen, right? There's like that's not in the scope yet either. There's just
I
a
wonder
lot
if they're
of
counting her
opportunities.
as being a part of the Spider-Verse movies. I don't know.
Maybe, but still, like a standalone. If you're gonna pick a character to go with, and I think that representation is very important, 100% important. I don't want to make light of that. I know I'm a middle-aged straight Christian white guy, right? Like
how dare you?
I'm right in the sweet spot of nobody cares, and so, but like all that being said. Legitimately speaking, I think that them hey, we want to focus on his Hispanic heritage story. I think it's great. Just pick a better one. Like there's so many more out there. Even if, make a new one. Like make sure that it is represented well. And I feel the same thing about when they did Doctor Who and turned her into a woman and all that stuff. And then I don't feel like they did her character justice. Had nothing to do with her being a woman.
Yep.
I feel like they wrote her very weak. And so
strong writing for a strong character.
If you're gonna represent well. Like give people a reason to rally behind things.
Yeah.
Black Panther's a great example. I thought Black Panther could have been a better produced movie, but I feel like the story that was told was solid. Like that, it made me excited. I'm excited for Black Panther 2, right? So, I don't know. I got a lot of things to say when it comes to that, specifically about El Muerto and that, very little to say. But as far as representation, if you're going to do it.
The larger topic at hand.
Well, hey, that's what, our thoughts on it. I promise you we'll have another episode about this as it gets closer. We start to see a trailer.
This is the initial info dump for thinking for the next thing that we see.
We have 2 years to speculate.
2 years to think and think and think.
It's possible we see him in one of the other Spider-Man-ish movies.
We almost need to.
We almost need to.
And here's to hoping. Well, I almost said something very insensitive. I'm just gonna say it. Here's to hoping Sony loses the the rights between now and then, right? And so
I just want them to get good. How about just get good?
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway,
you don't speak any lies.
Yeah, we really want good stuff, and Sony has a very poor track record with its fans.
Yep.
As far as movies go, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse notwithstanding, I think that's an outlier. So anyway, hey, those are our thoughts on some of it. If you guys have different thoughts, please let us know in the comments on twitch.tv/lovethynerd or even on the Twitter @FreePlayPodcast. Yep. Hit us up and let us know. What do you think about Bad Bunny? What do you think about El Muerto? Are there different things that we don't know about this character?
Are you a Bad Bunny fan?
Please.
Let me know. I need to know.
Is he good bunny in your eyes? That's what I want to know.
He's just a fine bunny.
Decent bunny. Fine bunny.